Hello, my name is Gavin Buckley. I'm speaking to you from Skibbereen, County Cork, Ireland, where I work as a part of the front of house team at Uillinn West Cork Arts Centre. I've been working at the centre for a couple of years now, and the wonderful people working there have gone above and beyond to help me pursue subjects of great interest to me, namely blog writing and podcasting. Both of those fields afford me the opportunity to interact with the wide variety of artists that become associated with the centre through residencies and exhibitions. Fortunately, in spite of the recent COVID restrictions, I'm still able to reach out to artists over the internet and speak with them about their latest pursuits. Most recently, I got a chance to catch up with artists Anna Ospina and Alice Halliday about their work on the upcoming St. Patrick's Day virtual parade. As always, if you're interested in this project or any of the many other events going on in Uillinn, please check our website westcorkartscentre.com, or you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Twitter. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy the podcast. So, hello, Anna, and hey, Alice. Thanks for joining me.
Hi.
Hi, Gavin.
Could you give me, or could you kind of introduce yourselves maybe to the people listening?
Yeah, sure. My name's Anna Ospina, and I'm, I guess, the lead artist on the project, and I'm a creative producer, and I've got a background in theatre design and public art, and I'm working with Alice Halliday. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Alice Halliday. I'm an ethical fashion designer and stylist, and I'm working with Anna and Michael on this project, facilitating the workshops, costume design and headpiece making.
Yes, thanks for mentioning. Actually, we have got a third member of the team who isn't able to be with us today, but his name is Michael Stevens, and he's a designer maker, and he's kind of more in charge of the props side of things.
Okay, great. And then you've been doing, so you're working on the St. Patrick's Day for Uillinn, and then can you give me a bit of a background about that? When did that start and how you kind of led up to that?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I was first invited to get involved with St. Patrick's Day 3 years ago. So the first time the theme of the parade was a circus. I think it was The Greatest Showman on Earth was the theme. And yeah, I was invited to develop a proposal by Uillinn, and I invited Alice to come and help me with the workshops on the kind of costume making side of things. And it worked really well, and we had a great time working together and really enjoyed it. And Michael also got involved that year, but as a volunteer, and we all really enjoyed working together. So when we were asked if we wanted to do it again the following year, we said yes, and that last year. So you know, it was a really great project. We kind of scaled it up, and working with the theme of folklore and fairy tales, which was something that really resonated, especially for myself and Alice. It worked really well with our kind of style of creative work, and we got really excited about the theme, and we were really ambitious about what we wanted to do. And then of course the pandemic hit, and just before St. Patrick's Day everything went into lockdown, and obviously parades were cancelled all over the country. So that was a bit of a blow, because I think it's fair to say that we were really excited about it, and we had big plans and big kind of ambitions for it, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. So we kind of put all the costumes away in storage, and you know, waited to be told that it was safe to do it again. And we definitely didn't expect that it would be that we would still be in lockdown a year on. So it was a bit of a shame, but at least this time we were able to plan ahead, and we were able to plan for it, and come up with an alternative way of delivering the parade this year.
Mm-hmm. And when you first did it, did you kind of, you know, is the parade on the street with people and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the first year we were actually able to do a real life physical parade, and we were working with local business called Spearline, which is a kind of an IT business, and so we were working with members of staff from there, and yeah, it was a really great experience, and they got really engaged with the project and really involved. And all day I think we had Spearline kind of marching in the parade with us, which was fantastic. And we were really lucky with the weather. It was sunny and dry and only a bit windy, and yeah, it went really well. And we were really happy with how it went. So it was a shame not to be able to do one last year or this year, physical parade. But you know, I think it's made us to get more creative with how we deliver the project and how we deliver the outcomes. So
hopefully next year we'll be able to physical parade.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. We feel like it's really important that something happens, that we recognise St Patrick's Day and that we mark the day with some kind of an event, because it's been a really difficult year for everybody, and the local community, you know, has really come together, and we're all supporting each other to get through this really difficult experience. And it's been, you know, it's been a dark time for a lot of people. You know, it's been lonely and isolating and kind of depressing and quite boring at times. So we felt like it was really, really important to produce something that would give people a sense of pride and a sense of hope. And of course, you know, spring's on its way, and we're looking forward to the end of lockdown, and we're hoping for better times ahead. And we wanted to give this kind of gift to the community to say, you know, like, Skibbereen is a special place and a beautiful place, and people here, you know, have come together and helped to create something really special, and we want to celebrate that. So we think it's really important, and we hope everybody enjoys what we've created.
So in terms of people getting involved in the project, how do you get people involved? You know, designate people? Can anybody join, or is it always a designated you know, group that you're working?
Yeah, so I mean, anyone can get involved. Absolutely, anyone can get involved. Part of the reason we work with local businesses is just to kind of help raise awareness of the project. It kind of gives us you know, access to their own kind of networks, and they can help us to get the word out. Also, sometimes they contribute. Well, they contribute in terms of staff time. Sometimes they contribute a small amount of funding to the project as well. And also, yeah, I guess it means that we get to work with people who might not usually get with these kinds of projects. Like, I think from Spearline, you know, hadn't really done anything like that before, and it was interesting for them because it's quite a new company, so quite a lot of the employees maybe hadn't been living in the area for that long, so it kind of gave them a chance to do something, get involved with something that was kind of connected to the wider community. And then last year we worked with employees from Fields, who are, of course, you know, like a very important business in the local community, especially throughout the pandemic. You know, they've been very, very important for Skibbereen. So it's just great. It's a great way to kind of get involved with the project, but also we always open it up to the wider community. And so, you know, obviously Uillinn has its own network and its own mailing list, so we can those people, and then we use social media a lot. So Alice and myself have a Facebook page that we use for our businesses. So we share content with Uillinn, and, you know, we share it on our own pages as well. This year we have chosen to, instead of carrying out physical workshops, we've been carrying out online. So we've created a series of activity sheets that you can download from the Uillinn website or from our social media, and they kind of guide people through different activities that will help them make their fairy tale costume, so that they can participate in the virtual parade. Maybe Alice, you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we also did our first Zoom workshop. So Anna was hosting it, and I was doing a crown making tutorial. So we've got that shared on the Uillinn Facebook page, so anyone can watch that in their own time and take part in the activity. So that was fun. It was a bit nerve-wracking because I hadn't done one before, but it was a really good experience. And yeah, it's nice to engage, because we did lovely workshops with families from the community last year in person, which was really great fun. And even though we couldn't do that this year, there was still a way to connect with those people. And yeah, I guess it's good to kind of learn new technology, and yeah, hopefully people will feel inspired to do their own creations.
If I can just add something to that, the creative activities went out during February, and they are still available online, and they will be available until Patrick's Day itself. So we still really want people to get involved. There's still time for people to want to. So we would encourage anyone who's listening to this podcast to get on the Ullin website, the Facebook, and download the activities and get making. You probably only need like a weekend to make your costume, so there's still time, and we would love to see your photos. If we get them in time, then we will include them in the virtual parade event, which is going to be happening on the 17th and for a little while afterwards. And you can find more details of that coming soon on the Ullin website and on the Facebook. You know, we would absolutely love as many people as possible to get involved with the virtual parade by creating their own costumes and taking photographs or videos and sharing them. When you share your photos and videos, please make sure you use the hashtags Once Upon a Parade and Skibbereen Virtual St. Patrick's Day so we can find your images.
Great. So we'll just say I'm kind of any Tom, Dick and Harry on the street and I want to get involved. I go on the Ullin website and there's packages there for me and videos to watch, and then you kind of some prompts, I'm guessing, to do with the folklore and fairy tales, and then
yeah, exactly.
I just follow the guide and I kind of make my own outfit and take pictures or video, or how does that manifest then?
That's exactly right. Yeah, and we've designed the activities to be things that you can make at home with like materials that you already have, so you don't have to go out and buy anything, any expensive fancy equipment. We want to encourage people to like recycle materials and upcycle things that they have at home, so hopefully you should be able to make all of these things just using objects and materials that you have around your home.
And sorry to add in that, and things that are foraged from nature as well. That's I think a big point, to kind of go out into the outdoors and maybe find things on maybe the beach or the woodland if it's within the 5k radius, or even in the garden or around the hedges. You can find lots of lovely natural treasures that you can include in your creations.
So Alice, you said that
Definitely.
you have is it a crown making tutorial? Is that on the website at the moment?
Yeah, that's on the Ullin Facebook page.
Okay.
And it's on the website as well, yeah.
Okay, great. And then,
oh yeah,
could you give like a brief description of that? You know, what would I be doing? We'll say if I was trying to get involved and I saw this video, you know, what does that part of that project entail?
So basically, you just start off with a hairband, or you could a base with wire, and then it's just a matter of designing your headpiece using either things from around your house or foraged from nature, and it's a step-by-step guide to putting the headpiece together. So I just show as many kind of ideas as possible, and I made 2 different headpieces and then showed ones that we'd made last year. So yeah, it's just kind of a step-by-step simple guide to talk you through how to make your own.
Okay, great. And then, sorry, just to reiterate, then once I've made a costume for myself, and then I take pictures, or is it pictures or video, and then you put that together into a kind of a compilation video thing for everybody?
Exactly, yeah. Take all of the contributions that we receive and yeah, put them into a kind of slideshow format, I guess. And then we'll be projecting them at a large scale in the windows of the Ullin Gallery.
And then the kind of process of the process from the start, you know, how far out from St. Patrick's Day itself are you preparing and discussing and, you know, setting it all up?
Well, the planning started, I guess, last year. So usually it's kind of November, December time, I think, when the funding application is being put together. So we start talking about it then, and who we're going to work with and how we're going to do it. And then the real work starts in January, I guess. So that's when we start putting together the workshops or the online activities. We start promoting the project and, you know, inviting people to get involved with it. And then the first 2 weeks of March are usually a bit of a mad panic, as they have been again this year, really. And yeah, and then after the 17th, we usually get to put our feet up, and well, we have to clean up, obviously, but yeah, it's usually it reaches a peak on the 17th, and then we sort of get a break after that. But yeah, it's quite a long process, and it's pretty intense.
You already kind of touched on it, but then your own artistic background and the materials you use and stuff. How do you personally contribute? Again, I know you've kind of briefly touched on it, but how do you personally involve your own art in the project?
Well, I would say, I mean, my creative practice is very much to do with telling stories. So I'm very interested in how people relate to their environments, and like the kinds of stories that make a community unique and that bring people together. In my previous work, creating public art, it was all about working with local communities to kind of draw out the stories that were important to people, and the kind of things that created the unique identity of the community. So I think that really follows through into this project. Sorry, I've got my puppy here playing with a squeaky toy.
Right.
Yeah, it really follows through into this project, because Breen is where I grew up, and it's a very important place for me, but I've been away for a long time, so it's really nice to kind of come back. I came back 3 or 4 years ago, and kind of sort of dive so deeply into the local, and kind of ask people what's important to them, but also kind of, I guess, give an outside perspective on like how special the area is, and like how lucky we are to live in a beautiful natural environment, and how it's really important that we look after that environment. And I think Alice and I definitely share a concern for making sure that the local environment the natural environment is looked after and protected, and cherished as it should be, and kind of preserved. So I think we've tried to bring all of those themes into the project, and hopefully we've succeeded.
Yeah, I grew up just outside Skibbereen as well, and I've always been surrounded by nature, and come from a very creative family. So I think something that's been really important is the use of reclaimed materials, and using like discarded fabrics, and creating new kind of works of art out of them. I think since I was a child, I've always been interested in sewing, and using like household textiles, for example, to make garments. So this project, it's been really exciting, because we've kind of both had this, Anna and myself had stashes of materials that we've kind of not needed, and we've added them to the kind of the materials for making the costumes and for the workshop. So that was really fun to kind of lay out all the materials and get people to drape them on the mannequins and play around, which is kind of how I work as well when I'm designing, work in a very 3D kind of way. So yeah, we've just basically, all the costumes are made from like fabrics and old clothing, and then incorporating the foraged things from nature as well into it. So it's just kind of naturally the way I work anyway, so it's really lovely to kind of continue that on, and to work in a group, because I usually work on my own in my studio. So this project's been really lovely to interact with others and kind of bounce ideas off each other.
Brilliant. And what about Michael then? I know, can you speak for him and what his kind of contribution to the whole thing?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I can try and say a few words about Michael's work. I mean, his background is very much kind of, as I said, he's a designer maker. So he's studied graphic design and fine art, but he's also kind of always had a real passion for kind of making things, and carpentry and things like that, and sculpture. So he's very into the 3D as well as the design side of things, and his skills have really his graphic design skills have really come in handy this year, because obviously we've had to put everything online, so we've really relied heavily on him to kind of present the creative activities and in an attractive and accessible way. Yeah, so in addition to the graphic design skills that he brings to the project, yeah, particularly sort of last year, I guess more than this year, there was a lot more making going on, and so his kind of 3D design and making skills were really, really important. And yeah, we're hoping that some of the pieces that we've made will actually be seen in real life next year, so we'll be keeping them in storage and hoping that that happens next year.
Okay, great. That's brilliant. So you're still looking for people, ideally, and then you said that they can go on the Uillinn websites and Facebook. And is there any other place that they can get onto you if they were interested in getting involved?
So we're also on Instagram. Both Alice and myself are on Instagram, and we're pretty active on there. So if anybody has any questions about the activities or about the project, they can send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, or they can email Uillinn on info@westcorkartscentre.com.
I'm just wondering, should we mention about the socially distanced photo shoot, or that we're going to be having that broadcasted, or is that like a secret?
No, I think we should mention that, absolutely. Yeah, do you want to say a bit about that?
Yeah. So we just recently did a socially distanced photo shoot with local photographer Kate Bean. She's super talented, and we've Anna and myself have worked with her previously, and her aesthetic was really fitting for the whole folklore and fairy tales theme. So we're really excited to see the finished photos, and we're going to have a little short video as well. So everyone will be able to see that as part of our virtual St. Patrick's Day parade.
Brilliant. Okay. So just in terms of your support for the project, how does that kind of come about, and who contributes to that?
So yeah, there's a few different organisations that support the project, which is really important. Obviously, the main one would be Uillinn, West Cork Arts Centre. So they are the ones that commission the three of us to deliver the project on their behalf. And they're supported with funding from Cork County Council and the Arts Council, as well as the Department of Social Protection, and we're also working in partnership with the Skibbereen Chamber of Commerce. So we're very grateful to all of those organisations for helping to make this project possible. Brilliant.
Okay, great. All right, well, I really do appreciate your time, guys, and best of luck with it. I'm really looking forward to it, as I guess most people are. So.
Thanks, Gavin.
No problem. Thank you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Gavin. Have a good day. Thanks, Alice.
This podcast is brought to you by Uillinn West Cork Arts Centre. This podcast is brought to you by Uillinn West Cork Arts Centre and made possible with support from the Arts Council, Cork County Council, and Department of Social and Family Affairs.